The life you know is just the surface of something much deeper, much more intimate, much more governed by the invisible than anyone dares to admit. You walk through this world believing that circumstances have power, that events are lords, that matter decides. And so you live like spiritual beggars, hoping something will change out there so you can then allow yourselves to change inside. But I tell you, this reversal is the root of all human suffering. The world is not the cause, the world is the consequence. It doesn't command, it obeys. Every detail of your life is an imprint shaped by the state you silently carry within, even when you are not aware of it. You think you live experiences, but in truth you live states. Always. Every instant. Even when you say, "I'm not feeling anything," you are feeling something. Indifference, expectation, doubt, stagnation. The state is continuous. And it is this state that builds, organizes, attracts, repels, opens, and closes the doors of your reality. I speak to you as someone who has seen men change entire destinies without moving a finger in the physical world. I have seen those whom society called failures silently assume the feeling of victory, and life bow before them as if recognizing its true owner. I have seen suffering women internally put on the state of love, and love find them effortlessly, like a river that naturally follows its course. I have seen poor people feel rich before they had any proof, and money flow from such unlikely paths that even the wise were silenced. All this because life does not respond to what you wish, but to what you accept to be. You have been taught to think that feeling is weakness, that the world is concrete, that things are as they are. But I say that feeling is the highest power that exists. It is the root of creation. Feeling is the breath that shapes the invisible. It is the silent order that governs what you call destiny. Before anything manifests, it needs to exist as a feeling within you, not as a fleeting emotion, but as a deep recognition, an inner yes, a silent knowing that it is already real. And what makes this understanding so powerful and so dangerous for those who prefer to remain asleep is that it makes you all fully responsible for the life you live. There are no more culprits. There is no chance. There is no luck. There is only the state you sustain, consciously or unconsciously. And until you assume this power, you will continue to be tossed from one circumstance to another, like someone who lives reacting instead of commanding. That is why today I speak to you about the mode of feeling. Not as philosophy, not as theory, but as the lost key to creation. Everything that exists around you is just a projection of how you feel about yourselves now. And as long as the internal feeling remains the same, no matter how many actions you take, how many plans you make, how many opportunities appear, everything will remain the same. Because it is feeling that gives life to form. It is feeling that says to reality, "Be it done this way." And when you understand this, something within you awakens, not a superficial enthusiasm, but a deep memory. The memory that you are creators, not spectators. Lords, not victims. The one who feels is the one who commands. And the one who commands the invisible does not need to fight against the visible. Today, I want you to stop looking at the world as if it had power over you. I want you to abandon that old belief that life has its own will. Life creates nothing by itself. It only replicates the state you sustain. That is why I say the mode of feeling is everything, because everything is born from it. Everything returns to it. Everything obeys it. And until you master it, you will live as foreigners within your own existence. But when you master it, when you truly understand that feeling is the beginning and the end of all creation, then nothing will be impossible. Nothing will be distant. Nothing will be out of reach. Everything will be now, because everything is already within. You never manifest what you want. You manifest what you are able to accept feeling as true now. This is where most stumble, because they confuse desire with identity. Desire is movement, it is impulse, it is dream, it is a distant image. Identity is position, it is root, it is silent conviction. The universe does not respond to what you want, but to what you assume to be. And that is why so many ask, pray, affirm, visualize, but continue living the same repeated story. Because behind all the beautiful words, the real feeling remains the same. You say, "I want prosperity," but you feel lack. You say, "I want love," but you feel abandonment. You say, "I want to win," but you feel insecurity. And it is this feeling, not the desire, that creates. Life cannot bring what you cannot sustain internally. And to sustain does not mean to shout, to repeat 1,000 times, or to strive to believe. To sustain means to accept as your own. It means allowing the body, the breath, the silence, the heart, everything within you to recognize that state as something natural. What is natural manifests easily. What is felt as distant remains distant. There are people who wish for abundance, but carry the feeling that they do not deserve it, that they cannot have it, that one day, who knows? And life, obedient, reflects exactly that. Abundance that never arrives. When I say that you only manifest what you are, I am talking about what you have become inside, even if no one sees it. You become rich long before you see money. You become loved long before someone appears. You become healthy long before the body responds. Assuming the state is not fantasy, it is creation. It is the seed planted in the invisible soil of consciousness. The physical world is just the time needed for the harvest to reach you. And this is where many err. They want to feel later. They want to wait for the proof to then accept, but this is an illusion. The proof never comes first. Life does not give advance guarantees. Life reacts to your state always. If you insist on looking at the circumstances to decide what to feel, you are handing over your authority to the reflection. And the reflection is slow, it is delayed, it is old. Creation happens before the form, never after. Assuming the state is entering internally and silently, the reality you desire, even when everything around you says the opposite. And this courage to feel before seeing is what separates the creators from the spiritual beggars. The creator accepts. The beggar waits. The creator decides. The beggar hopes. The creator becomes. The beggar wishes. And the truth is this: the moment you assume the feeling of being what you desire, the world has already begun to move in your favor. Everything is already being reorganized. Everything is already responding. But this movement only begins when you stop asking and start being. Because you will never receive what you have not been able to accept within yourself. You will always receive exactly what you are. Feeling precedes the fact. Always. This is the law that governs everything, and yet it is the most ignored by those who live reacting to the world. People grow up believing that they need to see to then feel, that they need to receive to then give thanks, that they need to conquer to then rest. But this order is the prison of human consciousness. The one who waits for something to happen to then allow themselves to feel is doomed to repeat the same life infinitely, because they are placing the effect in the position of cause. Nothing changes until you change first within yourself. Nothing blooms until you feel the seed already alive before seeing it sprout. Life does not respond to the logic of the senses, it responds to the logic of consciousness. You can look at the external circumstances and say, but nothing has changed. And yet, if within you the state has changed, it is as if all reality has already been recreated. The external only awaits the time needed to reveal what already exists in the invisible. But most insist on watching the ground before planting, expecting to see fruits without having assumed the state of someone who owns the harvest. They want to feel joy only after everything goes right. They want to feel security only after the money arrives. They want to feel love only after someone chooses them. This dependence is the cycle that imprisons. The one who understands the law does not act like this. They reverse the order. They feel first. They create first. They assume first. Even when the world shouts the opposite, they remain. Even when logic says there is no reason to believe, they believe. Even when everything seems unfavorable, they do not try to negotiate with the circumstances. They ignore them. Because they know that the world has no choice. They know that life needs to bend to the assumed state. And it is this silent confidence, this inner firmness, that separates the conscious creator from the one who lives enslaved to what they see. Feeling is the root cause. It is the seed that contains all unfolding. When you feel something as true now, you are not imagining a future possibility. You are decreeing a present reality, and the physical world will only follow the decree. For those who see with inner eyes, everything is already complete. That is why those who feel before seeing do not need to accelerate anything, do not need to beg, do not need to doubt. Manifestation is not something that is coming, it is something that has already come, and you are walking towards it. When you assume the feeling first, it does not matter if the circumstances seem fixed, if nothing moves, if everything remains the same. The invisible has already changed. Life has already reorganized itself. The path has already been prepared, and at the right moment, which is always the perfect moment, what you felt will become visible. Because feeling first is creating. Seeing later is just recognizing what you had already accepted as true. True feeling does not ask for proof. This is the point where many fall because they confuse faith with anxiety, trust with vigilance, certainty with the need for confirmation. They say they believe, but spend the whole day looking for signs, observing every detail, interpreting every event as if the universe had to deliver daily reports on what it is doing. But whoever watches has not assumed. Whoever waits for signs is still saying to the world, I don't have it. And this silent declaration creates exactly that, absence. When you really assume a state, you do not need to ask if it is working. You do not need to look for clues, coincidences, movements. You do not need to watch the seed to know if it has germinated. True faith is a rest, not an effort. It settles in the body as a silent certainty, something so deep that it does not require words. The one who has really assumed wealth does not wake up wondering if tomorrow they will have more. They simply live as someone who already possesses. The one who has assumed love does not measure gestures, wait for messages, count signs. They just are, and the world responds. Doubt is born from the attempt to control the reflection. Anxiety is born from the belief that the external world still has power. But when you understand that reality is just the shadow of your inner state, everything becomes clear. If you have changed inside, it is done. The shadow will follow. There is no need for haste, for questioning, for confirmation. The reflection is inevitable. Not because you need it to be, but because that is the nature of creation. When you feel something as true, the physical world has no choice but to express that truth. And so why look for signs? Why demand proof? The sign is dispensable when creation is already complete within you. The sign is just an echo, and whoever lives waiting for an echo has not yet pronounced the true voice. When you assume the state, you live with naturalness, and this naturalness is the greatest testimony that manifestation already exists. The less you look, the faster it arrives, not because you are attracting it, but because you have stopped blocking the flow with your anxious vigilance. The Creator does not ask for guarantees. They generate, they assume, they rest. They know that the world is just the inevitable reproduction of what they have chosen to feel. When the state is true, external proof is neither necessary nor relevant, because the one who knows does not need to see, and the one who sees only sees because they first chose to know. Do not fight against the old, replace it. This principle is simple, but the human mind insists on complicating it, because it has been trained from an early age to face problems with force, effort, and resistance. People believe that to change an internal state, they need to fight against it, expel it, destroy it, or overcome what they feel. But none of this works. The more you try to eliminate an unwanted feeling, the more you strengthen it. The more attention you give to the old, the more it takes root. Consciousness does not let go of what you fight. It lets go of what you replace. The mistake is in the focus. Most look inward and say, I need to stop feeling fear. I need to get rid of insecurity. I need to eliminate lack. I need to erase this pain. But each attempt to eliminate reinforces the very existence of what you want to eliminate. It is like trying to put out a fire by blowing on it. You fuel the flames. The mind does not understand negation. It understands direction. And when you put your energy into fighting something, the direction is precisely that something. You are not saying, I want to get out of this. You are saying, this still governs me. Real transformation does not happen by force, but by replacement. If you want to stop feeling scarcity, do not fight against scarcity. Occupy yourself with the feeling of abundance. If you want to stop feeling rejection, do not confront rejection. Allow yourself to feel loved. If you want to stop feeling anxiety, do not fight fear. Inhabit the state of security. The mind molds itself to what you assume, not to what you try to tear out. It aligns with the new state when you wear it naturally, like someone who chooses a new outfit without needing to destroy the old one, just leaving it aside. This is where many stumble, because they are conditioned to believe that change requires effort, confrontation, pain, internal battle. But in consciousness, there is no battle. There is choice. You do not overcome an old state. You transcend it simply by ceasing to feed it. And you cease to feed it when you start living, internally, in the state you desire. When you choose to feel something new, the old one dissolves by itself, as the night disappears when the sun rises. You do not fight against the darkness. You turn on the light. Replacement is the path of the conscious creator. It is gentle, silent, precise. You do not need to analyze the past. You do not need to investigate wounds. You do not need to resolve every detail of your history. Just assume a new state, and the old one dissolves, because it no longer finds space to exist. You do not destroy the old. You simply become someone for whom the old no longer makes sense. Consciousness is not a battlefield. It is a fertile field. And what you plant today, the state you choose to inhabit, will inevitably become the reality you harvest tomorrow. Replace, do not fight. Choose, do not resist. Feel, do not force. And life will follow the new direction you have given it. Feeling as if it already is, this is the apex, the point where the entire law of assumption reveals itself in its purest and most powerful form. When you feel as if you already have it, as if you already are it, as if you are already living exactly what you desire, you completely eliminate the distance between you and the manifestation. In this state, there is no future, there is no waiting, there is no one day, there is only the now, and the now is the only door through which any creation can enter. What few understand is that feeling as if it already is not pretending. It is not imagining something distant. It is not playing make-believe. It is assuming an identity. It is internally wearing the condition you want to live in such a natural way that the body recognizes it, the mind surrenders, and the heart confirms it. When this alignment happens, the external world loses the ability to contradict what you have assumed inside. It may even look the same for a while, but it is already dissolved. Every person, every event, every detail silently begins to move towards the state you have chosen. The mind, addicted to logic, will ask, "But how is this going to happen? Who is going to bring it? Where will it come from? When will it come?" And the answer is always the same: it does not matter. When you assume the state, the how ceases to be your problem. Your only job is to feel. Life's job is to organize the rest. And it always organizes. Because reality is not rigidly physical, it is malleable, plastic, obedient. It bends to the dominant feeling of your consciousness with absolute precision. That is why those who feel before seeing manifest with ease. Not because they are lucky, not because they have secret methods, not because they are special, but because they have understood the foundation. Everything already exists in the invisible, waiting for you to assume the version of yourself for whom that is natural. The universe does not deliver what you desire with desperation. It delivers what you can feel as familiar. Wealth comes to the inner rich. Love comes to the one who feels loved. Healing comes to the one who feels healed. Everything obeys the feeling you sustain, not the request you make. And when you wear that state, when you really assume it, there is no gap between you and the manifestation. The distance disappears because you have stopped looking for it outside and found it inside. And everything that is found inside becomes inevitable outside. This is the law. Not because I say so, not because it is philosophy, but because that is the structure of consciousness itself. Feeling as if it already is the moment when you stop trying to create and start allowing creation to reveal itself. It is the instant in which you abandon the struggle, the effort, the anxiety, and enter a deep, firm, inviolable rest. Because the one who already is does not ask, does not wait, does not beg. The one who already is just lives, and the world follows. From now on, I want you to stop looking at the world as if it had authority over what you can or cannot live. Stop begging for crumbs of change, as if you were subjects of circumstances, that you yourselves created without realizing it. Nothing out there can decide your destiny. Nothing out there can determine who you are. Nothing out there has the power to prevent what you have internally assumed as true. Reality is not sovereign. You are. You have spent years trying to push the world with your hands, trying to convince the circumstances to change, trying to make people understand, trying to move external pieces as if they were responsible for your future. But life does not respond to force. It responds to state. As long as you continue begging for signs, waiting for permissions, asking for confirmation, the world will continue to return to you only waiting, delay, uncertainty. But the instant you assume a new feeling of being, not tomorrow, not when something happens, but now, everything bends. I want you to understand, creation does not begin in doing, nor in asking, nor in desiring. Creation begins in being, and being is feeling. That is why every true transformation is silent. That is why everything changes effortlessly when your state changes, because the world is just an echo, and no echo has power over the voice that produces it. Enter today, without hesitation, into the state of what you want to live. Do not wait for proof. Do not wait for signs. Do not wait for favorable circumstances. Wear inside the feeling of someone who already owns what they desire. Allow that feeling to become so natural that you no longer need to sustain it. It will simply be there, breathing with you, walking with you, shaping the path ahead. And order in silence that reality accompany you. Not with arrogance, but with conviction. Not with despair, but with certainty. The assumed state. There is no greater force. There is no higher law. There is no higher law. There is no shorter path. You are not waiting for manifestation. Manifestation is waiting for you. Waiting for you to stop being spiritual beggars and remember your divine inheritance. Waiting for you to stop identifying with lack and assume fullness. Waiting for you to stop crawling and decide to walk as creators. You were born to command the invisible, and when you master the mode of feeling, everything, absolutely everything, obeys, because everything already is, and everything is already within.
The greatest secret to freedom, to peace, to the effortless unfolding of all that you desire, lies in mastering the art of acting as if nothing bothers you. Not because challenges do not exist, not because disappointments do not arrive, not because difficulties do not knock at your door, but because within you there is an awareness, a deeper knowing, that the moment you accept appearances as truth, you have surrendered your inner authority to the outer world. The world only mirrors what you assume to be real. Therefore, when you learn to act as if nothing bothers you, you are not ignoring reality. You are shaping it. You are stepping into the position of the one who knows that life bends itself to your inner state, and not the other way around. Life is constantly testing whether you react to what you see or whether you persist in what you know. Every situation carries two doors. One door leads you to frustration, irritation, and surrender to appearances, while the other door leads you to calm confidence, detachment, and dominion over circumstances. When you choose to act as if nothing bothers you, you are walking through the second door. You are saying to the universe, I am unmoved, I am unshaken, I am already living in the outcome I desire. And when you persist in that state, the world is compelled to rearrange itself and mirror that calmness back to you in the form of answered prayers, fulfilled desires, and circumstances that bow to your inner certainty. The moment you begin to truly see that everything outside of you is but a reflection of your internal world, you no longer take offense at what others say or do. You no longer panic at delays. You no longer give your peace away cheaply to events that seem to contradict your desire. Instead, you realize that the contradiction is not final, it is not absolute, it is only a temporary echo of an old state you once occupied. You do not have to wrestle with it, you do not have to fight it, you do not have to collapse beneath it. You simply stand firm in your assumption, act as if nothing bothers you. And in doing so, you dissolve the power of what seems to oppose you. Imagine two people facing the same setback. One reacts with anger, stress, and despair. The other reacts with calm, assurance, and ease, as though nothing could shake him. To the outside world, the difference might look like temperament, but in truth, the difference is mastery. The one who stays calm, who acts as if nothing bothers him, has understood a great secret, that the outcome is already his, and that any disturbance is merely a shadow with no real substance. Shadows can frighten only when you believe them to be real. Once you realize they are empty images, you smile at them, and you walk forward without fear. This is the posture of the one who lives in the end. This is the behavior of the one who knows the law of assumption. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you are not suppressing emotion. You are not denying your humanity. You are claiming your divinity. You are saying, I am the operant power. I decide what has meaning. I choose which state I live from. I choose which reality I entertain. And the universe must obey your choice, for it has no choice but to reflect the inner state you consistently occupy. This is why calmness is strength. This is why detachment is power. When nothing bothers you, everything begins to align for you. Think of the times in your life when you were most disturbed. Perhaps someone insulted you, or circumstances contradicted your dream, or things did not move as quickly as you wanted them to. In those moments, did your anxiety ever change the situation? Did your anger ever produce the result you desired? Or did it only deepen the problem, entangle you further in the web of appearances, and exhaust your energy? Now compare those times with the moments you held your peace, the moments you remained calm and persisted in your inner knowing. Were you not met with solutions, with unexpected turns of events, with favorable outcomes that seemed almost miraculous? That is the difference. Acting as if nothing bothers you allows the invisible forces of life to operate freely on your behalf. When you stop reacting, when you stop being tossed around by appearances, you become like a mountain. Winds may blow, storms may come, but the mountain stands unmoved. And in that stillness, the storm loses its power. It passes, and the mountain remains. This is how your life begins to look when you act as if nothing bothers you. Problems may attempt to rise, delays may appear, challenges may show their faces, but you remain unmoved. And soon enough, those problems fade, those delays vanish, those challenges dissolve, and what remains is your fulfillment. Understand this clearly. Acting as if nothing bothers you is not indifference. It is not apathy. It is mastery. Indifference is born of resignation, but mastery is born of confidence. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you are not saying you do not care. You are saying, I care so deeply, I know so fully, that I refuse to let temporary appearances dictate my state. You are standing in the finished result, knowing that the world must conform to it, regardless of what is presently seen. That is why nothing bothers you, because you already know the ending. Life is a stage, and every role is played according to the script you hold within your imagination. If you choose the script of worry, then worry becomes the actor that dominates your scenes. If you choose the script of calm assurance, then calm assurance governs the stage, and leads every actor to fulfill the outcome you desire. When you walk through life as if nothing bothers you, you are choosing the script of calm assurance, and because the stage of life obeys the director within, every scene begins to adjust itself to match your inner direction. Suppose you desire wealth, yet the bills arrive and the bank account looks small. If you react with panic, you are affirming lack. If you act as if nothing bothers you, you are affirming abundance. In the first case, lack multiplies. In the second case, abundance finds you in ways you cannot anticipate. Suppose you desire love, yet you are met with rejection or loneliness. If you react with despair, you are affirming loneliness. If you act as if nothing bothers you, you are affirming union. And in that calm assurance, circumstances must conspire to bring love to you. This is the law. This is the secret that separates those who live enslaved to appearances from those who command appearances. The one who knows the law understands that life is not about fighting, struggling, or forcing. It is about assuming, persisting, and resting. To act as if nothing bothers you is to rest in the assumption that all is already well. It is to rest in the conviction that what you desire is already yours. And in that rest, in that unshakable calm, the invisible hand of the universe moves swiftly and surely to bring you what you have claimed. The less you react, the faster it arrives. The calmer you are, the quicker the alignment. Because calmness is proof of faith, And faith is the only bridge between the unseen and the seen. Look at nature. The river flows without resistance. The sun rises without struggle. The seasons change without force. All of nature acts as if nothing bothers it, because it knows the certainty of its cycles. And yet everything is accomplished. The river carves valleys. The sun nourishes life. The seasons sustain the world. Learn from nature. Flow like the river. Shine like the sun. Trust like the seasons. Act as if nothing bothers you, and you will accomplish all things with ease. Every day presents you with opportunities to practice this art. When someone speaks against you, act as if it does not bother you, for you know your worth is not determined by their words. When circumstances delay your dream, act as if it does not bother you, for you know the dream is already fulfilled. When the world seems chaotic, act as if it does not bother you, for you know that within you there is peace, and that peace will be mirrored back to you in due time. Each act of calm detachment is a seed planted, and every seed must grow. Soon you will harvest a life where peace is constant, and fulfillment is inevitable. The truth is simple. You are always choosing your state. You are always deciding whether to be disturbed or to be calm, and that choice determines the world you experience. To act as if nothing bothers you is to consistently choose calmness, regardless of appearances. And when calmness becomes your natural state, life bends itself to that calmness, and all things begin to work out in your favor. So train yourself. When you feel the impulse to react, pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself that appearances are temporary. Remind yourself that the outcome is already yours. Remind yourself that nothing has the power to disturb you unless you grant it that power. Then walk forward as if nothing bothers you. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes, until one day you realize that nothing truly can bother you, because you live in the conviction of the end. This is the way to freedom. This is the way to mastery. This is the way to peace, to fulfillment, to effortless creation. Learn to act as if nothing bothers you, and you will discover that everything aligns to please you. Learn to act as if nothing bothers you, and you will rise above the storm, and find yourself living in the calm of answered prayers. Learn to act as if nothing bothers you, and you will see that life itself is for you, never against you, and that all things are working together for your good. So walk with calmness, speak with assurance, live as if nothing bothers you, and watch as the world reshapes itself to mirror your inner peace. The law is unfailing, and the result is certain. All that is required is that you remain unmoved, untouched, and unbothered, living in the end, and knowing with absolute certainty that your desire is already yours. When you live in this way, people around you will notice something different about you. They may not be able to explain it, but they will feel it. They will sense your composure, your serenity, your quiet power. Some may try to provoke you just to see if they can disturb your calm, but they will fail, because you have trained yourself to stand unmoved, and soon they will admire it. They will wonder how you can live with such ease while others are tossed around by the storms of life. What they are witnessing is not luck, nor is it indifference. What they are witnessing is mastery over self, mastery over state, mastery over life itself. There is no greater strength than the ability to remain calm in the midst of chaos. There is no greater wealth than the possession of peace that cannot be purchased and cannot be taken away. There is no greater influence than the quiet assurance that radiates from one who is never shaken. These are not just poetic truths. They are practical powers. For the one who remains unbothered commands the situation. The one who does not react controls the outcome. The one who walks in calm assurance bends reality itself to serve his vision. Think of the dreams you hold right now. Think of the goals you long to achieve, the desires that fill your imagination, the future you wish to step into. All of it is possible. All of it is already prepared for you. But the bridge between here and there is not panic, not struggle, not fear. The bridge is calmness, detachment, persistence, and the inner knowing that it is already done. If you can act as if nothing bothers you, no matter what arises, then nothing can stop you. If you can act as if nothing bothers you, you are already on the path to everything you have asked for. This is why I say begin now. Begin in small ways. When someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of reacting, act as if nothing bothers you. When a bill comes that seems bigger than your account, instead of collapsing in fear, act as if nothing bothers you. When the world whispers doubt, act as if nothing bothers you. Every time you choose this calmness, you are affirming your dominion. Every time you remain unmoved, you are claiming your authority. And each choice builds upon the last until you live in a state of unshakable peace and unstoppable power. In time you will discover that acting as if nothing bothers you is not an act at all. It becomes natural. It becomes your default way of being. You no longer pretend, you simply are unbothered. Because you know the truth so deeply that disturbances no longer find a place within you. And in that natural calm you find freedom. Freedom from fear. Freedom from worry. Freedom from the illusions of appearances. And with that freedom comes the life you have always dreamed of, unfolding before you with grace and certainty. As you move deeper into this way of living, you will notice that the quality of your thoughts begins to shift. Worry no longer holds its grip on you. Fear, which once felt like a constant shadow, begins to dissolve. Doubt, which used to whisper in your mind, grows quieter and quieter until it disappears altogether. In its place arises a stillness, a confidence, a steady flame of knowing that does not flicker regardless of the winds around it. This is the reward of acting as if nothing bothers you. You change not only how you appear to others, but how you feel within yourself. Your body responds to this calmness. Stress that once tightened your chest, weighed on your shoulders, or clouded your mind begins to lift. You carry yourself differently. You walk lighter. You breathe deeper. Your voice takes on a tone of authority, not because you try to force it, but because peace naturally expresses itself through you. Even the smallest aspects of your life begin to reflect this shift. Conversations become easier. Opportunities appear more readily. Solutions arrive in perfect timing. The world outside mirrors the harmony you have cultivated within. This is not a fleeting trick, but a way of life. It is not about pretending for a moment, and then falling back into old patterns. It is about allowing calmness to become your natural atmosphere. Every day you will be given opportunities to strengthen it. Every situation, no matter how small, is an invitation to remain unmoved. And the more you accept these invitations, the stronger you grow. Soon what once would have rattled you no longer even registers as a disturbance. You look at the same situation that used to send you into fear and you smile, knowing it cannot touch you. That is true strength. That is true mastery. People may call it luck when they see how easily things work out for you. They may wonder how doors open, how help arrives, how circumstances favor you again and again. But you will know it is not luck at all. It is alignment. It is the inevitable result of choosing peace over panic, calm over chaos, assurance over doubt. By acting as if nothing bothers you, you have declared to life that you are already fulfilled. And life, having no choice but to reflect that declaration, arranges itself to prove you right.
And as this becomes more and more your experience, you will find that you no longer chase after outcomes. You no longer grasp or cling to desires as if they might escape you. You no longer look to the world with desperate eyes, begging for it to confirm your worth. Instead, you walk in quiet confidence, knowing that what is yours cannot be lost. You know that every desire has already been answered, and you rest in the certainty that it will unfold in perfect time. From this place, everything you once struggled for comes easily. Wealth flows to you. Love surrounds you. Health strengthens you. Joy fills you. All because you have learned the sacred art of being unbothered. This way of being creates a different relationship with time itself. When you live in agitation, time feels heavy and slow, every moment dragging under the weight of your restlessness. But when you are calm, when nothing bothers you, time begins to work for you instead of against you. Hours pass smoothly, days carry gifts, and what once felt delayed now feels perfectly timed. You no longer count the minutes in desperation. You trust the flow, and in that trust, you discover that what you desire seems to arrive right on schedule. And notice how this calmness alters the way you see others. When you are easily bothered, you are quick to judge, quick to react, quick to label people as obstacles. But when you act as if nothing bothers you, those same people no longer hold power over you. Their words may come sharp, but you are not cut by them. Their actions may be clumsy, but you are not tripped by them. Instead of feeling attacked, you see more clearly. You recognize that everyone acts from their own states, and you are free to remain in yours. This gives you compassion, but not weakness, because compassion from calmness is strength. Even in the face of what once terrified you, this practice transforms everything. Imagine standing before a challenge that used to fill you with dread. In the past, you might have panicked, overthought, or given up.
Now you breathe, you stay still, and you say within yourself, "This cannot bother me. I am already victorious." And as you persist in that inner declaration, the challenge loses its teeth. It shrinks, weakens, and fades, because it cannot stand before the power of one who refuses to be moved. Over time, your entire sense of identity changes. You are no longer someone at the mercy of circumstances. You no longer see yourself as a victim of conditions. You begin to recognize yourself as the creator, the one who holds the reins of reality in the silence of your own inner being. This recognition is liberation. It frees you from the endless cycle of reaction and places you in the position of authorship. From there, life is not something that happens to you. Life is something that flows from you. And with that recognition comes joy. Not the fragile joy that depends on everything going right, but the deep, enduring joy that remains regardless of conditions. It is the joy of knowing you cannot lose, that nothing can be taken from you, that all is already yours. This joy radiates quietly, like a lamp in a dark room. It lights your path, and it lights the paths of those who encounter you. Without trying, without effort, you become a source of peace to others. They feel it in your presence, they hear it in your words, they see it in your eyes. And while they may not understand the source, they will be drawn to it, because peace is the rarest and most precious thing of all. You will also find that opportunities begin to recognize you. It is as though life itself prefers to work with the one who is unbothered. A calm mind sees clearly, and a clear vision recognizes doors that others overlook. While those who are restless are blinded by their own agitation, you, in your stillness, perceive openings, hints, and possibilities that others miss. Acting as if nothing bothers you sharpens your awareness, because your attention is no longer scattered by endless reactions. It is centered, steady, and receptive, and that receptivity draws to you the very circumstances that fulfill your desires. Even the language you use shifts in this state. Instead of speaking from fear, "What if this doesn't work? What if I lose? What if it never happens?" You speak from assurance. "It is already mine. I know it is done. I trust the unfolding." This shift in words is not forced. It is natural because your inner state creates the language you speak. And every word spoken from calm conviction plants a seed that blossoms into matching experiences. Slowly but surely, the garden of your life reflects the calmness you have chosen. And what of setbacks? What of failures? What of those moments that used to shake you? They no longer have the same weight. They may appear for a moment, but you do not give them residence. You look at them, you smile, and you continue on your path as if they hold no power, because they truly do not. They are only echoes of old states, shadows of a version of you that no longer exists. You do not need to fight them. You do not need to explain them. You only need to persist in your calm knowing, and the shadows dissolve in the light of your new state. As you live this way longer, you realize that being unbothered is not passive. It is the most creative stance you can take. In calmness, your imagination is free. In stillness, your vision expands. In detachment, your power operates without resistance. What once felt like struggle now feels like play. What once drained you now energizes you. Life begins to unfold with a rhythm that feels effortless, and you find yourself walking in harmony with it rather than against it. And slowly people begin to tell you you've changed. You're different. They may not know how to describe it, but they will feel the shift. They will feel your stability. They will feel your quiet power. And some will ask how you do it, how you manage to remain calm when the world seems so chaotic. You may try to explain, but the truth is, they will only understand when they too choose to practice it. For this is not something you can fully describe. It is something that must be lived. Your relationships begin to change as well when you live this way. Conflicts that once escalated into arguments no longer take root, because you are not feeding them with reaction. Instead of responding with defensiveness, you remain calm, and your calmness disarms the tension. Others may come expecting a battle, but they find peace, and that peace often changes their behavior without you saying a word. By acting as if nothing bothers you, you introduce harmony into spaces that once echoed with discord. You become the stabilizing presence that others unconsciously lean on. This presence carries into your work, your ambitions, your daily interactions. Where once you might have doubted yourself, second-guessed your choices, or feared making mistakes, now you step forward with assurance. You are no longer pushed and pulled by every small opinion or external event. You move with quiet certainty, knowing that your inner world is the source of your success. Because nothing bothers you, nothing distracts you, and you are able to focus on what truly matters. That focus draws results faster than any frantic effort ever could. And when blessings begin to multiply, when dreams begin to crystallize into reality, you see even more clearly why calmness was always the key. The more you live from the state of being unbothered, the more evidence life gives you that it is the only true power. Panic builds walls, but peace opens doors. Struggle delays, but calmness accelerates. Worry drains, but confidence replenishes. What once took years begins to come quickly. What once felt impossible begins to feel inevitable. At this point, you no longer even think of yourself as acting unbothered. You simply are. You no longer wake up searching for signs to reassure you, because you wake up already knowing the signs will appear. You no longer ask when your desire will come because you know it already belongs to you. You no longer wrestle with appearances, because you know appearances must obey your inner state. To the world you may seem detached, but to yourself you feel deeply connected, to peace, to power, to fulfillment. This is the gift of learning to act as if nothing bothers you. It begins as a discipline, grows into a habit, and flowers into a natural way of being. And from that state all things flow to you without resistance. You no longer chase life, life comes to you. You no longer beg for outcomes, outcomes unfold around you. You no longer live in fear of losing, you live in the certainty of having. Even the way you carry yourself through ordinary days becomes different. You walk with a lighter step, because the weight of constant reaction has been lifted. You no longer feel drained by every small inconvenience, because you have stopped giving them the power to drain you. A delay in traffic, a missed opportunity, a careless remark, these are no longer chains that bind your emotions. They are like ripples on the surface of a vast ocean, unable to disturb the depth beneath. And when you live from that depth, people notice something in you that feels rare, something they want but cannot quite define. This calmness you cultivate is not weakness, though some may mistake it for that. It is not passivity, though on the surface it may appear quiet. It is the strongest stance one can take, for it is the stance of one who knows where true power lies. Anyone can react, but it takes mastery to remain unmoved. Anyone can panic, but it takes vision to stay assured. Anyone can collapse under appearances, but it takes faith to see beyond them. To act as if nothing bothers you is to rise above the immediate and dwell in the eternal. And it is in this dwelling that the miraculous begins to occur. Because when nothing bothers you, you do not interfere with the unseen process that is always at work on your behalf. When you panic, you interrupt it. When you doubt, you delay it. When you despair, you block it. But when you rest in calm assurance, you allow the process to move unhindered. You open the way for the invisible to become visible, for the unseen to become seen. And it does in ways that leave you amazed, in ways that others call coincidence but you know are certainty. As you live this way, gratitude becomes natural. Not the gratitude that pleads, but the gratitude that celebrates. You begin to thank life before the gift arrives, because you already feel it as yours. You begin to celebrate outcomes before they appear, because you already know their appearance is inevitable. This kind of gratitude is powerful, for it carries the vibration of fulfillment, and fulfillment always attracts fulfillment. Gratitude from calmness is not a ritual. It is a natural expression of the state of being unbothered. And then one day you will look back at the person you once were, the one who was shaken by every delay, disturbed by every word, anxious at every appearance, and you will smile. You will see how far you have come. You will see that the difference was never in the world, but always in your state. You will see that the moment you chose to act as if nothing bothers you, you began to create a different reality. And that choice has brought you here, to a life of peace, mastery, and effortless fulfillment. This transformation reaches even into the quietest corners of your life. Moments that once felt dull or ordinary begin to take on a new richness. You can sit in silence and feel content. You can walk through a crowded street and remain untouched by its chaos. You can handle responsibilities without being weighed down by them. Life no longer feels like something pressing upon you, but rather something flowing through you. This is what happens when you are unbothered. You move in harmony instead of resistance, and harmony turns even the simplest acts into experiences of peace. The world will always present contrasts. There will always be noise, opinions, challenges, unexpected turns. These are constants of existence, but they do not have to dictate your inner weather. Just as the sky remains vast and unchanged while clouds pass across it, so too does your true self remain steady while appearances move in and out.
When you act as if nothing bothers you, you anchor yourself in the vastness rather than the clouds. You live from the sky, not the storm. And in that higher place, storms lose their grip, passing quickly while your calm remains. This practice also deepens your intuition. When you are constantly disturbed, your inner guidance is drowned out by the noise of reaction. But when you remain still, when you act unbothered, you can hear the subtle voice within that always knows the way. Ideas rise effortlessly. Nudges guide you at the right time. Synchronicities appear because you are aligned with them. What felt like guessing before now feels like knowing. And this knowing leads you unerringly to the fulfillment of your desires. You begin to understand why peace has always been spoken of as treasure, why calmness has always been considered a mark of wisdom. For peace is not merely a feeling, it is creative power. It is the fertile ground in which all desires grow. To cultivate it is to open the gates to everything you have ever wanted. This is why the unbothered live lives that seem blessed. They are not lucky. They are aligned. They are not chosen. They are simply practicing the law in its simplest form. Remain unmoved, and the world must move for you. So each day becomes an opportunity to practice. Each small disturbance becomes a chance to choose calmness over chaos. And with every choice you grow stronger, more certain, more free. Eventually calmness becomes second nature. And when it does, you realize you have stepped into a new way of living. One where you are no longer a servant to appearances, but the master of them. This way of being also changes how you dream. When you were once restless, you may have dreamed from desperation, clinging to visions because reality felt so heavy. But when nothing bothers you, you dream from abundance, not lack. You imagine freely, not because you are desperate to escape your present, but because you know your imagination is the cause of your future. Your dreams become lighter, brighter, more expansive, because you are no longer weighed down by the urgency of needing them to appear immediately. You know they will appear, and that knowing allows you to dream even bigger. And with those bigger dreams comes a natural expansion of who you are. You begin to embody the person who easily receives what you once thought impossible. You carry yourself differently, because you are already living in the end within. To others it may look as if you are simply confident, but you know it is more than confidence. It is certainty. You have moved beyond hope and into knowing, and that knowing colors every word, every action, every step you take. You find that life becomes lighter too. The heaviness that once pressed on your shoulders begins to lift. You laugh more. You notice beauty where you once saw nothing. You find joy in the little things, not because they are different, but because you are different. The same world that once felt full of problems now feels full of possibilities. And that shift happened the moment you chose to stop being bothered. Even your nights change. Sleep comes easier when you are not turning over worries in your mind. You rest deeper when nothing has the power to disturb you. And in those quiet hours of sleep, your mind continues to shape your world in alignment with the calm state you have chosen. You rise in the morning refreshed, renewed, ready to meet the day, not as a victim of circumstances but as the creator of them. And so little by little, day by day, you weave together a life of peace, abundance and ease, not by forcing, not by struggling, but by mastering the art of being unbothered. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, until one day you realize that you no longer need to remind yourself to stay calm. You simply are calm. You no longer need to act as if nothing bothers you. Nothing truly does. The truth is, life bends to the state you choose to occupy. When you learn to act as if nothing bothers you, you step into mastery over yourself and over your reality. You are no longer at the mercy of fleeting conditions, moods or appearances. You stand rooted in calm assurance, and from that ground, everything you desire flows to you with ease. The world responds not to your struggle but to your inner certainty. So carry yourself as if every burden has already been lifted, as if every dream has already been fulfilled, and as if nothing has the power to disturb your peace. When you live this way, you will discover that all things conspire in your favor, and that the life you once longed for is no longer a distant possibility. It has already become your reality.
Imagine for a moment that your life is about to change in ways you have never dared to believe. Imagine that money in all the forms you desire is already on its way to you. I am here to tell you that this is not imagination, it is reality waiting to unfold through your conscious mind. You may be thinking, money takes time, effort, and struggle, but that is not the truth. The truth is, money responds to the state of consciousness you maintain. Money is life energy, and it moves to where life energy is vivid, alive, and confidently imagined. Your mind is the instrument, and your imagination is the power. In the next 24 hours, you can transform your relationship with money, and it will come to you naturally, effortlessly, and quickly. To begin, you must understand that money is not a thing to be chased. It is not earned, nor is it obtained through struggle. Money is a reflection of your inner state. If you are in lack, you will experience lack. If you are in abundance, abundance will flow toward you. This is not metaphor. It is law. The universe is a mirror. Whatever state you live in, that state manifests outwardly. If you desire to attract money in 24 hours, you must first embody the feeling of having it. Your imagination must be alive, vibrant, and saturated with the emotion of abundance. Start now by imagining a scene in which money has already come to you. See yourself holding it, using it, feeling its presence in your life. Do not think of it as something in the distant future. Do not think of it as something that may come if the conditions are right. See it now. Feel the joy of receiving it, the relief of knowing it is available to you, the freedom it brings. This scene is not fantasy. It is a truth waiting to be realized. The feeling you generate now is the seed that will grow into physical reality. Your imagination must be specific. Money is not abstract. It is concrete. See the amount you desire. See the circumstances of its arrival. Perhaps it comes as a check, a surprise deposit, a gift, or an opportunity to earn. Picture it vividly. Hear the sound of its arrival. Feel the weight of it in your hands, the texture of it, the excitement it brings. Let this scene consume your mind for several moments, until it becomes more real to you than your current surroundings. Now I know you may feel skepticism. You may say, this sounds too easy. How can imagining money make it appear? But listen carefully. The universe does not judge the method. It responds to the state. The law of your consciousness is unerring. Whatever you assume as true in your imagination, you will experience in reality. Doubt is the only barrier. If doubt appears, treat it as nothing more than a passing cloud in your sky of awareness. Your focus must remain fixed on the state of having. Do not think about the process, the time, the steps. Only assume that it is already yours, and your imagination must be so real that your body and mind respond as if it is fact. You may ask, how do I maintain this state throughout the day? The answer is simple. Live in the end. Do not live in the beginning. Do not live in the struggle. Do not live in lack. Live as the person who already has money, as the person who knows the universe provides freely and abundantly. Let this feeling infuse every action you take. Walk, talk, and move as if your bank account is full. Speak as if your financial needs are already met. Smile as if abundance is natural to your life. This alignment is magnetic, and it will draw circumstances, people, and opportunities that correspond to the reality you have imagined. Here is a practical step for the next 24 hours. Each night, before sleep, enter your imagination and create a vivid scene of money coming to you. See it clearly. Feel it fully, and saturate the scene with emotion. This is not a casual daydream. This is an act of creation. As you drift into sleep, let this imagined reality impress itself upon your subconscious mind. Your subconscious does not distinguish between imagination and reality. Whatever is impressed upon it, it brings forth in the physical world. You may awaken the next morning with opportunities, ideas, or encounters that align with your imagined scene. This is the magic that occurs when you deliberately use your imagination. While doing this, you must abandon all attachment to how it will happen. Do not dictate the method. Do not limit the universe by your reasoning or preferences. Your mind must remain open and receptive. If you insist on knowing every step, you are resisting the natural flow. Trust that the universe knows how to deliver your desire in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Your role is not to control. Your role is to assume, to feel, and to imagine. The universe will do the rest. Understand that you already possess the power to create. The external world is a reflection of your inner state. The scarcity you see outside is not real. It is the projection of a belief that has taken form. The abundance you seek is not somewhere out there waiting for you. It is already present in the fabric of consciousness. Money is drawn to your consciousness, not to your effort. When you align your mind with the reality of having money, you attract it effortlessly. You are not requesting it from outside. You are awakening the consciousness that is already yours. Consider the feeling of gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful magnet. If you focus on gratitude for what you already have, no matter how small, you expand your capacity to receive more. Gratitude is a recognition of abundance in the present moment. The more you feel it, the more money will appear. This is why imagining the end is so important. As you feel the reality of having money, your mind naturally experiences gratitude. You are no longer asking or pleading. You are already aligned with the reality you wish to manifest. As you move through the day, notice opportunities. Money may appear in unexpected ways. Perhaps a friend offers a gift, a business proposal presents itself, or a solution to a financial problem appears suddenly. These are not coincidences. They are the direct result of your inner state. Your consciousness has attracted circumstances that correspond to your assumption. The universe operates like a perfect reflection. What you assume inwardly, you experience outwardly. Every small sign of money coming to you is proof that your imagination is working. Acknowledge it, feel joy, and reinforce your state of abundance. Do not fall into old habits of worry or lack. These are the mental patterns that have delayed your manifestation in the past. The moment you catch yourself thinking, "I don't have enough," or "it will take time," immediately shift your focus back to the feeling of having. Replace those thoughts with vivid images of your abundance. The mind cannot hold two contradictory states at once. The state you dwell in is the state that manifests. If you dwell in lack, you will experience lack. If you dwell in abundance, you will experience abundance. Your choice is immediate, and it is powerful. You may also find it useful to verbalize your assumption. Speak in the present tense, as if the money is already yours. Say to yourself, "Money flows to me easily and abundantly. I am a magnet for wealth. I see opportunities for income everywhere. I have all I need and more." These words are not mere affirmations. They are declarations of a state of consciousness. When spoken with feeling, they impress the subconscious mind and set the stage for immediate manifestation. Words are powerful when aligned with imagination, and imagination is the seed of all creation. Understand the role of faith. Faith is not hoping or wishing. It is the knowing. Faith is the absolute confidence that your imagined reality is already true. When you feel this certainty, there is no delay. The subconscious mind does not question. It obeys. It is not concerned with time, space, or limitations. The moment you assume the state of having money, your subconscious mind arranges circumstances to fulfill that state. Faith is the bridge between imagination and physical manifestation. It is the invisible force that accelerates the arrival of your desire. Consider also that money is energy. Money represents value, exchange, and the ability to impact the world. When you feel abundant, you vibrate at the frequency of wealth. This vibration naturally attracts like energy. Opportunities, people, ideas, and resources come to you effortlessly, because your consciousness is aligned with abundance. The moment you stop worrying, stop forcing, and stop chasing, and instead live in the reality of having money, the universe responds in kind. This is the law, and it operates whether you believe in it or not. Let us return to the practical aspect. Tonight, before sleep, create a scene in your imagination of receiving a specific sum of money. Visualize the circumstances in which it arrives, the emotions you feel, the actions you take. Make it as real as possible. Hold this scene in your mind with total conviction. As you drift into sleep, let your mind dwell on it. Do not question it. Do not analyze it. Do not plan it. Simply know that it is done. The subconscious mind works through your imagination, not through reasoning. This is the secret of immediate manifestation. In the next 24 hours, notice how the universe responds. You may receive unexpected offers, new sources of income, solutions to old problems, or sudden ideas for earning. These are all manifestations of your inner state. Money is coming to you, not because of effort, but because your consciousness is aligned. You are acting in a state of having, thinking in a state of having, feeling in a state of having. The outer world must conform to the inner reality. It cannot help but do so. Remember, your power is in your imagination. It is in the feeling, in the assumption, in the faith. You do not need to struggle, to chase, to worry, or to convince anyone. You need only to assume the state of having, and the universe will respond with perfect precision. There is no delay for the mind that truly knows its power. Money flows to the consciousness that is certain, vivid, and unwavering. You may find resistance in the mind, old beliefs, habits, or doubts. Treat them gently, without fear. Acknowledge them, then return to the state of having. Persistence in the state of assumption, even for a few minutes at a time, is enough. It is not the quantity of effort, but the quality of your imagined state that matters. Even brief, vivid, and emotional assumptions impress the subconscious mind deeply. Your imagination is the workshop, your feeling is the catalyst. Your faith is the guarantee. In conclusion, the 24-hour transformation begins now. Visualize money arriving, hold the feeling of having it, speak as if it is already yours, live as if you are already wealthy, and enter sleep each night knowing it is done. Trust the universe to deliver in the ways that only it can. Your consciousness is the creative force, your imagination is the blueprint, and your faith is the fuel. The next day, open your eyes with the certainty that money is on its way. Because the law of consciousness does not fail. Money is life and it responds instantly to the life you live within. You have now learned the secret of attracting money in 24 hours. Live it, feel it, and receive it, for abundance is your natural state, and the universe is eager to obey. Now let your mind wander further into the reality you wish to create. Imagine receiving not just a small sum, but enough to satisfy your needs and even beyond. Picture yourself walking through your day knowing that your finances are secure, that money is constantly circulating toward you, that each action you take is met with opportunities to receive. Feel the ease of this abundance. Notice how your body relaxes, how your mind is clear, how your spirit lifts with the certainty of wealth. This is not fantasy. This is the practice of aligning yourself with the life that is already yours to claim. As you continue to hold this scene in your mind, you may notice details emerging naturally. Perhaps you see the face of someone offering you a payment, a business deal closing successfully, a surprise check arriving, or an unexpected source of income appearing as if from nowhere. Do not dismiss these details as unlikely. The mind that imagines with certainty draws events into form. Each image, each sensation, each emotion reinforces the subconscious understanding that this reality is yours. You are not waiting. You are already living it in your imagination. Do not allow your attention to drift to the how or the when. These are distractions created by the reasoning mind, which only knows limitation. The infinite mind, your consciousness, does not require a plan. It does not work through struggle or calculation. It works through the vividness of assumption, through the certainty of feeling, and through the unshakable belief that your desires are already fulfilled. If you maintain the scene as true, if you live within it emotionally, the universe cannot resist bringing it to form. As the day progresses, test your awareness. Notice when thoughts of lack arise and gently dismiss them. Redirect your focus to the scene you have imagined. Remember, your imagination is the workshop of creation. The moment you allow lack to dominate, you delay your manifestation. The moment you assume having, you accelerate it. Each choice you make in thought, feeling, and attention is a choice of creation. In this way, the next 24 hours become not just a time period, but a stage upon which your wealth is scripted, rehearsed, and performed to completion. You may begin to feel sensations in your body, lightness, excitement, anticipation, and even a sense of relief. These are signals that your subconscious mind is responding, that your inner world is aligning with your desire. Pay attention to them. Let them grow. Each heartbeat, each breath, each thought that affirms abundance is a building block in the reality you are constructing. The more you focus on these sensations, the more real they become, and the more the outer world must conform to them. Do not fear the arrival of money, for some believe that to receive suddenly is risky or undeserved. Release such thoughts entirely. Abundance is not a reward, it is a natural state. You were born to live in wealth, to experience freedom, and to enjoy the blessings of life. To resist it is to resist life itself. Accept that money is your friend, your companion, your tool, and your gift. Treat it with respect, with gratitude, and with the expectation that it flows freely toward you. Notice the synchronicities that occur when you hold this state. People mention opportunities in passing, doors open unexpectedly, ideas arise in your mind unbidden. These are all responses to your inner state. The universe is constantly speaking in signs, guiding you toward the manifestation you have imagined. Pay attention, remain alert, and act in alignment with the sense of having. Opportunities may require action, but action performed from a state of abundance is effortless, inspired, and successful. Keep your imagination active even in small moments. While waiting in line, walking, or performing routine tasks, allow your mind to dwell on the scene of your wealth. Feel the reality of it. Speak affirmations silently or aloud. Let the words and images saturate your consciousness. Each repetition strengthens the neural pathways that align you with abundance. Soon, your entire being vibrates with the certainty of wealth. It is no longer a distant hope. It is your lived reality in imagination. You may find yourself smiling more often, feeling lighter, and noticing how others respond to your newfound state. People naturally gravitate toward those who embody abundance. Your confidence, your poise, and your joy become magnets. This is the law in action. The world responds to the state of consciousness you project. When you assume the feeling of having, money is drawn not only through circumstance but through relationships, connections, and the natural flow of opportunities that life provides. Remember that every limitation you have experienced in the past is the result of holding a contrary state. It is not reality speaking, it is your imagination creating a pattern that now exists in form. You have the power to rewrite that pattern at any moment. The 24-hour period is sufficient because your mind operates beyond time. What you imagine vividly and believe completely manifests instantly in the realm of consciousness. Physical reality follows naturally, inevitably, and in perfect order. As you continue, imagine yourself not only receiving money but using it wisely and joyfully. See yourself investing, sharing, purchasing, or saving as you wish. Feel the empowerment that comes from financial freedom. Notice the relief from worry, the expansion of possibilities, and the flow of creative energy that now fills your life. By imagining not just the receipt but the utilization of money, you create a complete blueprint for your subconscious mind to follow. It is no longer incomplete or hesitant, it is whole and ready to manifest fully. Do not be discouraged if the physical manifestation does not appear immediately in exactly the form you imagined. Sometimes the universe delivers in ways more elegant, more profitable, or more unexpected than you could have conceived. Trust the intelligence of your imagination and the perfection of the law. Money will come in accordance with the state you have created, and often in ways far beyond your limited expectations. The key is to remain in the feeling of having, not in the analysis of arrival. At the end of the day, before sleep, return once more to your imagined scene. Let it be so vivid that it overshadows every thought of limitation. Feel it, hear it, see it, taste it, and live in it fully. Let this final act of assumption impress itself upon your subconscious mind. The subconscious works while you sleep, and it does not differentiate between imagination and reality. What you impress upon it now will unfold naturally in your waking life. You are planting seeds that the universe cannot help but grow. As you rest in this state, imagine waking tomorrow with a sense of anticipation and excitement. The night has impressed your subconscious and your inner world has aligned with the reality of having money. Notice how your body feels lighter, your mind sharper, and your awareness tuned to opportunities that were invisible before. These are signs that your consciousness has shifted. You are no longer the person who waits or hopes, you are the person who knows. This knowing is magnetic. It draws to you the resources, people, and circumstances that correspond to the state you have assumed.
Throughout the day, practice seeing abundance everywhere. Money exists in many forms, and it moves in ways you may not expect.
It may appear as a gift, a refund, a business opportunity, or even a creative idea that generates income. Be alert to all forms of wealth, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. Each instance is a confirmation that your imagination has taken form. Notice it, feel gratitude, and let the feeling of abundance grow stronger. Every small acknowledgement strengthens the law in action. Engage your senses fully in this practice. Hear the sound of money arriving. See the numbers in your account increase. Touch the bills, feel the coins, or notice the transaction completed successfully. Smell the crispness of new bills, the aroma of your favorite environment as you enjoy wealth, the sense of comfort and ease that comes with financial freedom. Your senses are instruments through which the imagination becomes tangible. The more vivid and real the experience, the faster the manifestation occurs. Speak to yourself in the language of abundance. Say, I have more than enough. Money flows to me effortlessly. I am ready to receive. Do not speak in the future tense. Avoid words like I will have or I hope. Speak as if it is done, as if it is present, as if the law of your consciousness has already created the evidence you desire. Words are not empty. They are extensions of your state of being. Each word, each phrase, each affirmation reinforces the reality you have chosen to inhabit. Be aware that the mind may try to argue, to resist, to reintroduce old patterns of lack. When this happens, do not fight or push. Simply return to your scene of having. Your imagination is stronger than reason. Do not debate with doubt. It is a shadow passing through your awareness, but it has no power over the reality you assume. Keep your attention focused on the feeling of money in your life, and let everything else fade away. This is the practice of conscious creation, the art of deliberate manifestation. Notice how opportunities align when you maintain this state. Perhaps someone contacts you with an offer, or an unexpected solution presents itself. These are not random. They are responses to the vibrational reality you have established within. Money comes to consciousness that is ready, alert, and open. The universe always responds to your inner world. When you assume a state of wealth, every person, every situation, and every event that corresponds to that state begins to appear in perfect harmony with your imagination. Keep practicing mental scenes in small moments throughout the day. While commuting, walking, or waiting, allow your imagination to conjure wealth flowing into your life. Each repetition deepens the impression on your subconscious mind. Soon it becomes natural for you to feel the state of having. It becomes effortless to think, feel, and live in abundance. The law of consciousness works continuously. Whether you notice it or not, your deliberate attention accelerates its manifestation. But the law operates constantly and without error. Focus on gratitude at every stage. Gratitude amplifies your vibration, opens channels and signals to the universe that you are ready to receive more. Feel gratitude not only for the money you imagine, but also for every sign of abundance that appears in your life. Gratitude transforms ordinary experiences into proof of manifestation. It bridges imagination and reality, allowing your desires to flow into form naturally. The more you feel grateful, the more quickly money responds to your state of mind. Visualize abundance interacting with your life in practical ways. See yourself paying bills with ease, purchasing desired items, or sharing generosity with others. Let the feeling of financial freedom permeate every cell of your body. This integration of imagination with practical experience strengthens the reality you are creating. The subconscious mind absorbs these scenes and reproduces them in the physical world. Your life becomes a mirror, reflecting the wealth you assume within. Remember that impatience or anxiety weakens the manifestation. The moment you become desperate or fearful, you introduce resistance. Instead, practice relaxation and joyful expectation. Money is drawn to calm, confident, and certain consciousness. You do not need to chase, push, or manipulate. You only need to be in the state of having, living in it emotionally, and trusting the intelligence of your subconscious mind. The universe responds to your inner state, not to your efforts or strategies. As the hours pass, notice subtle changes in your environment. Doors open, Conversations unfold and ideas arise in your mind. These are responses to the state you hold. Pay attention to small coincidences. They are the threads leading you to the full manifestation of your desire. Each sign reinforces your inner knowing. Each confirmation strengthens your faith. Each acknowledgement deepens your alignment with the reality of wealth. Maintain the visualization continuously, even in fleeting moments. Let it become your default state. Do not wait for a special occasion, a quiet room, or perfect conditions. Wherever you are, let your mind dwell in the scene of having money. Feel it, experience it, and let your emotions rise in response. The subconscious mind absorbs these impressions effortlessly, and reality aligns naturally. Money, as life energy, responds to your living assumption with perfect precision. As night approaches, return once more to your scene of abundance. Make it as vivid, as alive, as emotionally charged as possible. Feel the arrival of money, the joy it brings, the freedom it creates. Let your imagination saturate every thought, every sensation, every moment before sleep. When you drift into slumber, your subconscious mind continues to work, integrating the state you have chosen. The law does not rest. It continues to operate even as you sleep, arranging circumstances and synchronizing events that correspond to your assumed reality. As you awaken, carry the feeling of abundance with you into every action, every thought, and every interaction. Notice how your day feels different when you begin it in the state of having. People respond differently. Opportunities appear more clearly, and your mind naturally notices solutions that were invisible before. This is because you are no longer operating from lack. You are operating from fullness. Your inner state dictates your outer experience, and the universe mirrors it with precision. Throughout the day, reinforce your assumption by imagining small, tangible instances of money arriving. Perhaps it comes as cash in hand, as a deposit in your account, or as the completion of a deal or project. Picture these moments as if they are happening now. Feel the excitement, the relief, and the satisfaction as fully as you can. The richer your imagination, the faster the subconscious mind acts. Remember, the subconscious cannot distinguish between imagined experience and physical reality. What you vividly feel as real will manifest. Do not concern yourself with obstacles or delays. Any thought that attempts to question your assumption must be gently returned to the scene of having. Resistance is only a signal that your focus has drifted. It is not a judgment, not a limitation. Simply return to your mental scene and immerse yourself in the feeling of wealth. This consistent return to the state of having strengthens your inner world, aligns your consciousness, and ensures that the outer world reflects your chosen reality. Notice how your intuition sharpens when you maintain this state. Ideas for earning, investing, or attracting money come effortlessly. You recognize opportunities immediately. You feel guided toward decisions that expand your wealth. This guidance is not luck. It is the natural response of a mind aligned with abundance. The universe operates in perfect harmony with your consciousness, delivering outcomes that correspond to the state you occupy. Keep a quiet sense of joy throughout the day. Joy is a powerful amplifier of manifestation. When you feel joyous about money, when you imagine it with delight, when you act in alignment with pleasure rather than struggle, you raise your vibration. The higher your vibration, the more responsive the universe becomes. Money is not drawn to worry, fear, or desperation. It is drawn to the confidence, certainty, and enjoyment you embody. Allow yourself to dream even bigger within your imagination. Once the initial scene is established, expand it. Imagine more abundance, more freedom, more security, and more joy. See your life fully enriched by the wealth you have imagined. The subconscious mind does not resist magnitude. It only requires clarity, feeling, and faith. The larger the scene, the more fully your consciousness impresses reality. Your imagination is limitless. Your wealth can be equally boundless if you hold the scene with conviction. Observe how your relationships and interactions shift. People respond to your inner state more than you realize. When you are abundant, relaxed, and certain, you attract favorable circumstances effortlessly. Conversations, meetings, and collaborations align naturally to support your manifestation. The law of consciousness extends through all connections. Your state sets the tone for how the world interacts with you. This is why it is essential to remain anchored in the feeling of having, regardless of external appearances. Notice that patience is not required in the way you think. Time is a construct for the conscious mind. But for the subconscious, all realities exist simultaneously. When you impress your desire upon the subconscious with vividness and feeling, manifestation is immediate in the realm of consciousness. Physical events unfold in perfect timing, often more rapidly than you expect. The next 24 hours are sufficient to set this process in motion, because the law of imagination transcends ordinary limitations. Continue to use affirmations aligned with the state of having. Speak confidently. Money flows to me easily. I am abundant. I have more than enough. Opportunities for wealth appear effortlessly. Repeat these words with feeling, letting them saturate your mind and emotions. Words, when matched with vivid imagination, act as powerful triggers for the subconscious. They reinforce the state you wish to occupy and strengthen the magnetic force that draws money into your experience. Embrace the feeling of security and freedom that comes with money. Let it penetrate your consciousness completely. Do not focus on what is lacking or what has been missing. Instead, focus entirely on the reality you are creating. Each thought, each feeling, each action taken in alignment with abundance reinforces your manifestation. Your inner world is now a fertile ground where wealth grows naturally, and the outer world responds as if it has no choice but to mirror it. As you move through the day, notice every subtle sign of progress. Perhaps a check arrives, a message indicates a payment, or a conversation opens the door to financial gain. These are not random. They are the natural response of a universe that mirrors consciousness. Each sign confirms that your imagination is taking form. Celebrate these signs, no matter how small. Gratitude for them magnifies the flow of abundance, reinforcing the magnetic alignment between your inner and outer worlds. Keep your imagination active even in mundane moments. While performing simple tasks, allow your mind to dwell on the scene of wealth. Visualize, feel, and believe as if it is happening now. The subconscious mind absorbs these impressions continuously. Your consciousness sets the vibration, and circumstances must conform. The universe is responsive to the state of your mind, not to your effort, struggle, or worry. The more consistent and vivid your assumption, the more immediate the results. Even when faced with apparent obstacles, remain unwavering. Do not analyze, do not argue, do not give energy to lack. Instead, return to the scene of having. Let the feeling of abundance wash over you, dissolving doubt and worry. This is the practice of deliberate creation, a return to your chosen state, a refusal to entertain opposing impressions, a confident and joyful living in the end result you desire. Every return strengthens your power and accelerates manifestation. As the day unfolds, allow yourself to act from the state of abundance in every decision, every conversation, and every moment. When you act as if you are already wealthy, the universe recognizes this state and responds accordingly. Even simple actions, when performed from this feeling, have extraordinary results. Your mind becomes a magnet, attracting people, circumstances, and ideas that correspond perfectly to the reality you have assumed. You no longer operate from limitation. You operate from freedom. Notice how your environment begins to change subtly. Opportunities appear that were invisible before. Doors open in unexpected ways. People respond to you with warmth, generosity, and cooperation. These are reflections of the state you hold within. Each interaction, each event, each small synchronicity is a confirmation that your imagination has taken hold. Money is drawn to consciousness that is prepared, aware, and aligned. You are now the person who knows, and knowing is the foundation of immediate manifestation. Continue to feed your imagination with rich, vivid scenes of wealth. Picture the money arriving. Notice the way it feels in your hands, and immerse yourself in the joy and freedom it brings. Imagine the practical applications: paying bills effortlessly, investing wisely, giving generously, or indulging in experiences that bring delight. The subconscious mind absorbs these impressions completely. It does not distinguish between imagination and reality. What you assume as real is what your life must reflect. Do not allow your attention to stray to worry, calculation, or comparison.
These thoughts are the tools of the reasoning mind, which only sees limitation. The creative mind, your imagination, sees infinite possibility. Whenever a thought of lack arises, let it pass like a cloud, and return to your scene of having. The more consistently you dwell in this state, the faster your outer world conforms. Your imagination is the workshop of creation. Your feeling is the energy that animates it. Speak your abundance aloud whenever possible. Say with conviction, I am wealthy. Money flows to me effortlessly. I am open to receive in unlimited ways. Abundance surrounds me. Let these words carry the vibration of certainty. Words, when aligned with feeling, imprint the subconscious mind and act as powerful reinforcements for your assumed reality. Each repetition deepens the belief and strengthens the magnetic pull of money toward you. Feel the gratitude that naturally arises from this state. Gratitude is the recognition of abundance and the acknowledgement of the universe's response. Each moment of thankfulness amplifies your vibration, opening channels for even more wealth to flow. Gratitude transforms ordinary experiences into confirmations of manifestation. It creates a feedback loop that continually reinforces the state of having. The more you feel it, the more the universe responds with signs, opportunities, and actual money. Allow your intuition to guide you. In the state of having, insights, ideas, and solutions appear effortlessly. You will notice moments of clarity, sudden inspiration, or even chance encounters that provide financial gain. These are the direct results of your consciousness aligning with abundance. Follow these impulses without hesitation, knowing that every action taken from this state is productive and perfectly timed. Maintain the feeling of wealth throughout every moment of the day. Let it permeate not just your imagination but your physical body. Walk, move, and breathe as the person who already has money. Let your posture, expression, and energy reflect the abundance within. The universe reads your vibration, not your bank account. The way you feel is the key that unlocks the door to wealth. Every movement, every thought, every breath aligned with abundance strengthens your magnetic power. Visualize the completion of your desire in multiple ways. Imagine different scenarios of receiving money, different sources, different circumstances. This variety strengthens the subconscious impression and ensures that the universe has multiple avenues to deliver your desire. Each scenario you imagine with feeling adds weight and reality to your assumption. The law of consciousness responds to certainty, not to limited thinking. The more real you make it internally, the sooner it manifests externally. As the evening comes, reflect on the signs of abundance that appeared during the day. Notice even the smallest confirmations. A phone call, a message, a new idea, a solved problem. Acknowledge them with gratitude, and let them reinforce your state of having. Each recognition strengthens your belief, deepens your assumption, and accelerates manifestation. The universe responds to acknowledgement as much as to imagination. Your awareness is a powerful tool in creation. Before sleep, create your final scene of wealth. Picture the money arriving. Feel it in your hands. Imagine its effect on your life, and let your emotions rise in full response. Saturate your senses with the reality of having. Do not doubt. Do not question. Do not analyze. Simply assume and feel. As you drift into sleep, this state will impress your subconscious fully. During slumber, your subconscious mind continues to work, orchestrating events, synchronizing circumstances, and drawing money to you in perfect alignment with your imagined reality. Now, as you stand on the threshold of your new reality, understand this money is not something you chase. It is a reflection of the state you occupy. The universe is not bound by time, effort, or struggle. It responds instantly to the consciousness you embody. In the next 24 hours, you have the power to transform your life, because you have learned the secret of living in the end. You have practiced assuming the state of having, imagining it vividly, feeling it completely, and trusting it fully. This is the law that governs all creation. Remember, your imagination is the workshop where all desires are forged into reality. The subconscious mind does not argue. It does not delay. It manifests exactly what is impressed upon it. Every thought, every feeling, every image you hold in certainty shapes your world. When you live as if your financial abundance is already present, the universe responds with perfect precision. You do not need to know how, when, or where. You only need to assume and feel. From this moment forward, act, speak, and think as the person who already possesses wealth. Let your life reflect the abundance you imagine. Trust the signs, embrace the opportunities, and maintain unwavering faith. The money you desire is no longer a distant dream. It is already present in consciousness, and the world will conform to this inner reality. Take this knowledge and apply it immediately. The next 24 hours are not a waiting period. They are the stage upon which your wealth is already being realized. Your imagination has set the pattern. Your feelings have activated the law, and your faith guarantees the outcome. The universe obeys the state you assume, and money will flow to you naturally, effortlessly, and abundantly. Step into this knowing with confidence. You are no longer a seeker. You are no longer a seeker. You are a creator. You are no longer a dreamer. You are a manifester. Your wealth is already present in the unseen, and the world will soon reflect it in the seen. Believe it, feel it, live it, and watch as the universe delivers exactly what you have assumed. The power has always been within you. Now it is time to claim it.